In summary, do I love Koh Samui? I'm here in Koh Samui and I'm going to give you my first impressions of the place in 2024, including costs. Is it overrated now? The accommodation, how to get around, things to do, what tourism's like here in 2024 post-COVID era, some tips, the different areas, and my honest overview of the place, which is what you can always guarantee you're going to get from me. So hang about till later on in the video and I'm going to share with you all of them things. So admittedly, I have been to Koh Samui before, but my first time was tarnished a little bit for two reasons. One, I was a little bit sick, and two, the weather was not ideal, wasn't very good. That was around about 18 months ago, so the start of 2023, and I'm noticing quite a few differences. It's definitely busier now in August, which is considered a little bit of a high season here in Koh Samui, which is unlike most other parts of the country. But Koh Samui has a few different kind of seasons, and it gets a lot more rainfall and different weather at different times of the year. It attracts more people at different stages of the year to places like Phuket, Chiang Mai and the rest of Thailand. Now, I will be completely honest. Koh Samui is not my favorite place in Thailand. There's something about it that just doesn't quite click for me in the same way it does in other parts of the country. I like it here, and I've liked it a lot more this time round, having spent nearly a month here. But do I like it as much as other places? No, I don't. So this is actually my second time in Koh Samui. First time I spent a week here, I was a little bit sick and the weather was not very nice. Now I've spent a month here and I've got a little bit better feel of the place and understanding of the areas, the cost, things to do, etc, etc. The first thing that has hit me is the cost. It is more expensive here than anywhere else I have been in Thailand. Particularly if you are up in Fisherman's village, you're paying comparable prices, if not more, than what you would in somewhere like the UK if you were going out for food, for instance. And although it is very nice and it's got a good setting, I would say unless you're a couple and you're here for like a romantic holiday, or you are here strictly on holiday, Fisherman's Village is probably one of them places where you're going to want to dip in for a night or two here or there, but you're not going to want to spend most of your time or buy most of your food or go out eating most of the time there. Because if you do, you're going to quickly either run out of money or just rack up a massive bill. The place is expensive. It's nice to visit, probably not the best to stay if you're staying long term. Now, the different areas are going to offer you different things. Chaweng is going to be vibrant for nightlife, bars, restaurants, and it's going to be a little bit cheaper than Fisherman's Village, but it's still on the more expensive side of Thai tourism. It's nice to go out and you're going to be spoilt for choice with your bars, your clubs, plenty of sports showing all the time. You're not going to miss out on that. There's some nice restaurants there. There's some good beach clubs. So it's a good area as a whole. And if I was coming on holiday maybe for a couple of weeks, that would be one of the highest contenders that I would be looking at staying. One of the other contenders to stay is Lamai. If I had a family or wanted somewhere a little bit quieter, I would consider staying there. That's where I stayed last year for about a week. It is a little bit quieter and it is a little bit far removed from a lot of things going on, which does mean that if you wanted to go up to Chaweng or get some proper nightlife, maybe you'd have to get a taxi or Songtao up to Chaweng for the night. Lamai is a contender. Fisherman's Village, if you are on a romantic holiday or just here on holiday for a short period of time. If you are coming to party or again on holiday or want to resort, then Chaweng is a big contender. You've also got Bang Rak, which is the beach I'm walking along right now. This is nicer, a little bit quieter, and you've got some restaurants, some bars, but it's a lot more of a low-key environment. However, it's only about 10-15 minutes away from Chaweng in a taxi, so you've got that there if you want it. You've got a couple of other areas like Mai Nam or Lipa Noi and places on the west of the island, but I've never stayed there, so I'm not going to give my perspective on it. They're a lot quieter. Most things are going on the east side of the island. That's where the airport is as well. And for most people, that's where you're going to stay or want to stay, unless you are staying in a massive resort and don't plan to leave, in which case you could be anywhere, so it doesn't really matter. Getting around the island couldn't really be easier, but it's not the cheapest. So I've rented a scooter and I'm very happy with the scooter. It's mint condition. The guys that have rented it to me are super helpful and they gave me a super competitive price. Maybe you could get something cheaper elsewhere, but you're not going to get better elsewhere. The bike is in mint condition, borderline brand new, runs super smoothly, super well. They send you a guide that will help you with navigating your way around the island, both on the bike and off the bike, give you tons of tips. They honestly couldn't be better, couldn't be more helpful. And I spoke to other people before booking with them and their price was one of the best prices. And considering all of the reassurance and service you get with it, I thought it was a no-brainer to book with them, and I'd book with them again and again when or if I come back. And they're called Jungle Wheels Samui. Just a little extra info on the scooter as well. So I'm paying around about 8,000 or 9,000 for the month, but like I said, it's a brand new scooter, 160cc, super comfortable, top range, and from a very good company. I've seen people whipping about on little Honda Clicks 125s, and they look like they've been through World War I, World War II, and have done about 100,000 kilometers. I would still ride one if I need to, but if I can choose, I'd rather ride one that I feel safer, securer, and that has just got a little bit more power and a little bit more comfort. And one thing you want to keep in note, in Samui, a lot of the scooter rental companies want to keep your passport as deposit, whereas Jungle Wheels don't. Now, I always prefer renting a scooter whenever I go anywhere because it gives me a lot more autonomy and freedom to go wherever, whenever. If I want to go train, if I want to go to a beach, if I want to do a little road trip, if I want to do whatever, I can go immediately and I'm in control of my journey, which I enjoy. If I'm going out drinking or going out on a night out, I might want to catch a taxi. If you do, taxis are a bit more expensive here. And actually, as opposed to other parts of Thailand, usually if you go on apps like Grab or Bolt, it's cheaper. Here in Samui, I've found actually getting a taxi flagged down and bartering with them for a price is cheaper than the apps themselves. Maybe someone will tell you different. In my experience, and I've caught a few now, it has been cheaper every time bartering and negotiating with a taxi driver than it has been actually trying to book through an app. So that's something to bear in mind that is different in Samui to what I've experienced in other parts. And the other main or obvious option is a songtao, which is effectively like a pickup truck or a ute if you're from Australia. And it's a pickup truck with like a roof on the back and it's open air. You just sit in the back. There's fits about 8 to 10 of you, and that will take you, rather than taking a taxi where it will take you exactly to where you want to go, it will take you a just general route, and then you just tell them when you want to stop, and they will usually be going on the ring road or on the main areas of like Chaweng, Lamai, Bang Rak, Fisherman's Village. They'll usually try to start a little bit higher, like 200 baht per person, depending on where you're going, maybe even more if they think they can. You can usually get them down. We paid the other day from Bang Rak to Chaweng 100 baht per person, which is about a 15-minute ride, so not too bad. The big difference that I've found this year versus when I came before and versus other parts of Thailand is the accommodation cost. You're going to get less for your money here, without doubt. And if you can negotiate and book for 6-12 months in advance, you're going to get a slightly better deal. But for what you get here, you could be getting a lot more for your money elsewhere. I'm currently paying 22,000 baht for a 1-bedroom kind of big studio apartment. So it's bigger than just a room and a bathroom, but it's got like the living room, the kitchenette, kind of everything stuck in all in one. And that's 22,000 baht, so it's around about £500, which if you were elsewhere and you shopped around, especially for the location I'm at, it's not a 10 out of 10. It's got a swimming pool, it's got a gym, it's okay. It's nice enough, but it's not a worldy place. But that is 22,000 baht. And in Thai prices, it's a little bit on the upside, but maybe you would expect to see that in Koh Samui. I shopped around a fair bit. I looked on Airbnb, Facebook Marketplace, and looked at directly renting through property agents and online and websites, and this was about average for what you're going to pay for what we got. In terms of things to do in Koh Samui, we're looking at the normal stuff like beaches, you've got elephant sanctuaries, you've got all of that jazz. But I think for me, from an angle of someone staying here a little bit longer that's not just on holiday, the things that I want to know are, does it have some nice beaches? Is the nightlife good for when I want it? Does it have some good gyms? Does it have some excursions and activities for when I want them? And the answer to all of them would be yeah. You have Angtong National Park, which I've done last year, that you're looking around about 1,500 baht per person. You go out to a marine national park with a set of islands, do some kayaking, a little bit of snorkeling. You've got Koh Phangan, which is actually just over there, which is the big neighbouring island. Takes around about 50 minutes to get there on ferry. You've got Koh Tao, which is a little bit longer, I think about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I haven't been. It's supposed to be amazing for snorkeling and scuba diving. That's a good day out. Again, I believe it's around about 1,500 baht per tour if you want to go over, but you can just catch the ferry over to Koh Phangan, stay somewhere for a night and then come back the next day. The best beaches, I believe, and I've been to a few now, the best beach is Crystal Bay or Silver Beach, they call it, and it is beautiful. And because you've got a cove there, it stops the waves, so it's a nice, still, clear watered beach. That will change a little bit throughout the year, but it's what you would describe paradise if you saw it. It's beautiful, the water's shallow, the water's clear, and the sand is nice. It's a very nice spot. That is down just in Lamai or just outside of Lamai. You've also got Chaweng Beach, which has a lot of beach clubs, and that's another thing that you can do. A lot of beach clubs to choose from. There's also some up here where we are in Bang Rak, which are nice, but I think the best ones that I've seen are in Chaweng, and one called Arc Beach Club looks very nice. I went in there. A lot of them will have like a minimum spend. This one had 500 baht minimum spend if you want to use the pool, but to be honest, if you're sat in there and buying a few drinks, you're going to easily spend that anyway. 500 baht, you're looking at about £12 or £10. Again, it depends what I need to keep them down. I can't see anything without them on. It depends what you are into, but you have got Big Buddha, you've got temples here. So if you're into more of the cultural stuff like that, you have got that. We went to a waterfall the other day called Muan Nang Waterfall 2. I think that's the name. I'll put the name here just in case I butchered it. A little bit of a hike up, but beautiful views at the top, and yeah, definitely worth it. About a 30-minute walk up, 20-minute walk down, something like that. But you've got some shacks at the bottom you can buy a drink, and up the top you've got this little waterfall you can jump in, and just the views over the south of the island and out towards a couple of the islands that you can see off the south coast. Beautiful. I definitely recommend that for a half day out. Also, because of the road that goes all the way around Koh Samui, if you do like riding the bike like I do, just hop on your bike and do a lap of the island. That's another thing that's interesting to do. It's fun, you get to see a little bit more. And then if you want to go and explore a little bit more of the local aspect of the island, get yourself over to the west and see some of them towns, little villages. There's also some markets there. And coming onto markets, you've got Chaweng Night Market, which is by the lake, but I believe the best market on the island is Fisherman's Village Night Market. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. It's got some typical souvenirs, some fake goods, some food, some drinks, some live music, and it's a nice evening to spend there. And you've also got the restaurants and everything on the beachfront. You've got some nice hotels there and a couple of sports bars. It's a good way to spend an evening, or if you are staying up that neck of the woods and you're on holiday, then it's a good little area to base yourself, and you can always dip into Chaweng if you want to. One of the best things about Samui, food and eating out. I would say this is the best place I've been so far in Thailand for variety of food, i.e. Western food and Thai food. I've had better Thai food elsewhere, but I've not had as much of a diverse choice as what I've had here. We've had Italian, Indian, Thai, American, English, whatever, you name it, and all of the food has been very good and the choices are abundant. So I would say if you're a foodie, then 100% plenty of options here, and the food generally is pretty good. It is a little bit on the expensive side if you're eating Western, but that's to be expected. It's a little bit more expensive than other areas of Thailand I've been when I've been eating Western, but it is still, without doubt, some of the best food, variety of food I've had since being in Thailand. You've also got plenty of gyms here, whether that be bodybuilding gyms, CrossFit gyms, Muay Thai gyms. You've got choices in each area. One big plus point for the whole island is the central mall. So because you've got that, you've got your Uniqlo, you've got H&M, you've got a food hall, you've got all of this stuff that is up in Chaweng, which is a massive plus. You've got Western Union banks there. It just makes life a lot easier having that, and I think that's a huge plus for Samui. In summary, do I love Koh Samui? No, it's not my favourite place in Thailand, but it's grown on me a lot, having spent a month here this time, and I would come back, but it's not a place I think I would settle down longer term. When you are staying here longer term, for me, I want things a little bit closer and to find an area that ticks all the boxes. And Chaweng is probably the closest thing to that, but it's just a little bit on the hectic side in terms of traffic and what it gets like at night. That's my own personal opinion of Samui. Do like it a lot. It's grown on me. I will come back. I would happily stay here for a longer period, but if I have a choice, which I'm fortunate enough to have a choice, I would pick somewhere else. Let me know your thoughts of the place. Let me know if this helped, and let me know your experiences of Samui. It's one of the most highly rated islands and places in the whole of Thailand, but I'm always surprised how many people I speak to that actually have a similar opinion to me on this and say they didn't love it or they didn't think it was as special as people make out. Maybe I just haven't seen the best bits yet, or maybe I haven't been here long enough. Let me know down in the comments, and as always, I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.